Hi Scorpio, the Awakened Dreamer here to give you your money and career tarot reading for the month of July 2021. Thank you so much for joining me. And I do want to take this moment, of course, to remind you, as always, to like this video, to leave me a comment about your situation. Go ahead and share this video as well, and do subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. But when meditating on your energy overall for the month, of course, in regards to the subject, the message that came through was staying focused through it all. As I struggle, staying focused through it all. And so we're going to begin by doing some shuffling, of course, so we can pull 6 tarot cards for the month. For our lovely Scorpios for the month of July 2021 for their money and career. For Scorpio. Interesting. We have 2 so far. Keep them coming for Scorpio. Felt a bit confused for a hot second. Alrighty, and we're going to keep shuffling for the last 2. What else do we have for the end of July? It's a bit abrupt. And we're not going to take them. I'll try that again for Scorpio for the end of July, money and career. And they want me to stop and pull the last 2 right from the top. Okay. Interesting. So you have Death and Rebirth at the bottom of the deck. Throughout the month of July, Scorpio, there's going to be a highlight and underlining focus on how you're changing, you're growing as your career and your finances start to or continue to evolve on a rapid level or in huge ways. Accepting such changes and transformations will benefit you at this time as you you almost shock yourself by glowing from the inside out as you change, as you evolve, and you become one with the changes within your situation. And so we're beginning with the Fool. You begin the month of July. I'm hearing time to fly, time to flow. Interestingly enough, you begin the month of July feeling as if you're sort of torn or pushed to begin to take flight, but in a more peaceful sort of going with the flow manner, allowing for yourself to fall back into how things are meant to unravel and change, while preparing yourself or getting into the mindset of moving towards what you deserve in a less stressed out or less forceful kind of controlled way. A reminder is going to come through from Spirit and the Universe around this first part of the month that your dreams matter, that you can make them happen, that the goals you set in place aren't pointless, right? Feeling like in the past months, certain stresses, certain obstacles made you kind of put your hands up and be like, well, these goals, these dreams are kind of pointless now. And Spirit's like, the beginning of the month has a lot of purpose for you. It's a huge, I don't want to say turning point, Spirit's saying that don't. It's just a huge part of the month where you are being pushed to believe in all of which, once again, your dreams, your goals, and remember that certain obstacles that have come to be, I want to say in June, maybe even before then, were purposeful, right? And they're not to test you, but to help you grow, to help you change into the individual you're meant to, a stronger, better version of yourself. While you'll notice moving forward in the month, the same is happening to your career situation. Because we're moving forward and we have the Tower. I'm being drawn to the crystal because they're saying not to move forward just yet. There's several crystals that will come in handy for Scorpios out there, especially to begin the month, helping you to go with the flow. And for some reason, I'm hearing adventuring. Scorpio could benefit from adventuring to begin the month or around this first part. But we're moving forward to the Tower. So you make your way to the middle of the first half of the month, and a huge change takes place, and it takes Scorpio by surprise. You feel like, okay, well, I could have used some warning. Thank you, universe. Some of you getting just frustrated all together, but for some reason finding it easy to move forward, or finding it easy to be like, okay, I got frustrated, I got aggravated, and just like you got a bit flustered. Okay, it's like you gather yourself, let's move on. And you can see it kind of got a little bit crazy-eyed there, and it's almost like you regret your reaction at first, but it's just the way you kind of are accustomed to dealing with certain difficulties or changes within your career or even within your finances. Spirit saying that certain huge financial, I don't want to say choices, but obstacles that came to be in the recent months have left you kind of on edge or expecting the worst. And there's a need to kind of reel it back in and adjust your perspective. Now seeing the hangman in my mind's eye as you are seeing things again in a sort of pessimistic way. I need to bring it back and view things a bit more optimistically, expecting the best, understanding that you can manifest those negative thoughts if you don't sort of keep things positive. This change will be abrupt but necessary, allowing yourself to keep your eye on the prize. Excuse me, as I struggle to get there. I need to remember once again, if need be, Spirit and the universe will remind you as you can barely collect your thoughts or express how you're feeling at this point in the month, due to all that's taking place, to keep your vision on your vision, if you will, to remember your goals and your dreams once again, but to remember them in a beautiful light, to keep it optimistic as you make your way to the end, or the last part of the first half. And we're making our way to Temperance. Interestingly enough, you make your way to wrap up the first half of the month, and the Spirit saying patience is a virtue, allowing yourself to accept certain reminders that come in about having patience, being one with the process, implementing a new level of balance within your career and finances, accepting that certain factors or certain people around you within your environment at work or within your career, but for a lot of you that wraps up within your home life, or there's a person or a factor outside of your work environment, whether it's at home or your friends, you name it, that stresses you out or makes things worse at times, and you to be more selective or specific as to who you associate yourself with or what issues you sort of bring home with you or share with certain individuals. You needing to create maybe a level of boundaries moving forward, I feel the need to say. Accepting that at times it makes things more difficult as you're going through a tower moment and you're evolving and changing as an individual all the meanwhile. And Spirit saying, as you are being prepped to sort of take flight towards all that you deserve, towards the completion of your goals and dreams, it can feel like it's a bit difficult to see the light at the end of the tunnel. But for whatever reason, you find it really easy to stay focused at this point. Certain reminders come in and you're like, okay, absorbed, got it, right? You've now kind of seeing in a different light, in a better way, more productive way, how to deal with certain obstacles or difficulties, or how to not create certain issues once again moving forward that you once easily allowed to happen, if that makes sense. And Spirit saying, whatever you just thought about, that's what Spirit was trying to communicate, or that's the issue or the obstacle that was at hand. Still feeling it's maybe a bit difficult to communicate how you feel, feeling like it's almost leftover frustration or mental confusion from this tower moment that took place, you once again still feel like it's easy to stay focused on all of which that's at hand, almost kind of blocking out what you've been dealing with while you're trying to work or accomplish a certain goal. Stay patient, once again, stay calm, and Spirit will remind you of that repeatedly toward as the first half of the month wraps up, as you continue to stay focused and do what's necessary, fulfilling certain obligations, and just being that strong Scorpio that people rely on these days. Understanding, though, or people needing to understand that you're changing and growing, and it's going to make you stronger, but they almost expect you to be this individual that you're starting to shed or leave behind, interestingly enough. And we're moving on to the second half of the month in spread, where we have the Queen of Wands. So you begin the second half of the month, and you surprise yourself, as we were just speaking upon you evolving and changing as an individual, and it having a lot to do with your career and your finances and certain difficulties you've had to deal with recently, or even the changes within them. And you find yourself extremely passionate about what's at hand. You feeling like it's easier to develop certain creative solutions at this point in the month, because you're able to have a clearer mind. You're able to be more calm while implementing that level of passion into your work, into whatever you're wrapping yourself up in. And you're finding that it's affecting other areas of your life in a beautiful way, where it's much easier to stop and be like, I could react, but I could also just kind of be within my own energy and come up with a creative solution and proceed like that, right? And you can see the difference in my demeanor and within your energy, and that's exactly how people are going to perceive you and, just view you in general. Feeling like, okay, well, Scorpio is changing and it feels like it's for the better. And you kind of needing to take that perspective, if you haven't already, on certain changes and adjustments within your career. But once again, it feels like it's 10 times easier, especially to begin the second half of the month, to come up with creative solutions where you're like, oh, okay, it took a moment. I know how to deal with this. Let's move forward in a calm, mature, confident way. I got this. I'm Scorpio, you know? And people just seeing you in a more leader sort of light, at the very least, a more mature, evolving light. And it's a beautiful thing. And I'm hearing quickly, but in a more calm way, let's do this, kind of matching the imagery, accepting that it's time to achieve what you have sought out to achieve from the beginning, but now you have a better approach, a better mindset. And Spirit's saying, you're still evolving, my friend. You just wait. Being aligned with the Fool, you're starting to see the instant benefits of going with the flow, of not allowing for yourself to tighten that grip at times, or to feel as if things need to be controlled 1000% moving forward. Allowing for things to fall into place as they're meant to, is seeing that certain changes are blessings in disguise, right? As I go to grab the Tower card, and they're saying we don't necessarily need to revisit them at this time, but to sort of accept what is, what happened, and what didn't really pan out as expected. As you make your way past this first part of the second half of the month, accept certain conclusions that you have drawn, that you've come to be one with, about certain individuals in your life in general, as well as who you're becoming in this lifetime, as well as, once again, how your career and finances are evolving. Realizing that nothing's going to stay the same, and nor should it, right? You seeing, and people around you evidently seeing, the beautiful changes as a soul, as an individual for you, but also just you starting to see, again, the instant benefits of going with the flow and allowing things to transpire as they're meant to, even if it's hard to see exactly how that's going to, where that's going to lead in the end. All right. And as we make our way to the middle of the second half of the month, we have the Three of Pentacles. And I mean, no surprise, Scorpio, you make your way to the middle of the second half and people are in awe. People are just looking at you in a different light once again, noticing the changes that have taken place within your career and finances, but more so applauding you or taking a moment to just be like, wait, the way they're coping with these issues or obstacles or changes, these just, the evolution of all of which, including their personal development, it just takes that level of admiration and almost doubles, right? People seeing you once again in a whole different light. You feeling as if you're becoming who you're meant to in this lifetime, and it clicks at this point in the month, if it hasn't already, or Spirit in the Universe will push you to sort of have that clicking moment, being aligned with the Tower card, that that moment that happened earlier on in the month was so necessary, and look where it's leading, right? Spirit saying, sure, this admiration, this respect that's being gained from those around you, even people outside of your work environment, would have taken place to a certain extent regardless, but this Tower moment has sort of made it 10 times easier for people to see that about you or about your situation. It's, again, a blessing in disguise that you couldn't fully grasp in the moment. Your dreams take a very interesting focus at this point in the month, your goals, as you decide, you know what, I'm going places. And part of you, Scorpio, a lot of you Scorpios feel the need to rewrite some of those goals, to tweak them a bit, to allow yourself to be more flexible in the fact that, yeah, again, I'm changing, I'm growing, my situation is, Spirit's allowing or pushing certain changes to happen. So now it's my turn to step in and make a few changes. And if you feel your goals are quite concrete and you don't want to tweak them just yet or in general, so be it. But it's up to you to, again, continue to take on that flexible mindset and to implement changes when your intuition tells you to. When you feel like smiling, when you feel like simply enjoying this part of the month, the attention you're receiving from those around you, please do so. All right, you deserve it, Scorpio. It's been a long time coming, and it's these small moments that push you forward and keep you going. Okay. And we're moving on to the last and final card, where we have the Six of Swords. This is coming through as a reflective state of mind. For some of you Scorpios, you end the month, or you make your way to end the month of July, feeling as if you need to up and leave a job or opportunity altogether, or a situation that is stressing you out in general, even if it's not directly within your work environment. It could be affecting your finances or your state of mind or your choices in general. But it feels like the majority of Scorpios are finishing off the month thinking back to a job or a situation that you had to up and leave almost abruptly in the recent past. How come this happened? Why did this happen? Where am I going? Why have certain changes taken place? And Spirit's trying to remind you at this point that you're an overthinker at times, are you not, Scorpio? And to allow for yourself to reflect to the point of overthinking and stressing, it's to kind of take the month in a whole different direction. When there's a need for you to, being aligned with the Temperance, have patience with yourself in the process. To remember that every little thing, every change and adjustment is happening for a reason. Even if you feel inclined and pushed to make a huge change at this point. And to once again, if need be, you'll be reminded to have more patience, balance, and to accept the transition of things, right? To accept that everything's going to fall into place as it's meant to, even if it feels a bit rocky in the meantime, and to bring back that sort of calm, peaceful, passionate state of mind that you had at the beginning of the second half. Accepting that you sort of stressing at the end of the month over things that need to change or have already changed is not going to make it easier for you in the process. And to wrap up the month, sort of remembering to stay focused, but in a positive light and an optimistic light as things continue to change and grow is going to benefit you greatly. All right, Scorpio. So on that note, I hope this reading was truly helpful. As always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share if you haven't done so already. I hope you have the most amazing month, and I'll see you next time. Bye.